Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is good to see you. The 400-year-old iconic Mysuru Dasara has seen many kings and regimes come and go. But 2025 is presenting itself with a unique challenge. And this challenge is coming in the form of a Booker Prize-winning Muslim author who is to light the lamp and inaugurate the 10-day festivities. Now, the invite has gone out from the Siddaramaiah government and the BJP is in battle mode. They say, why Banu? Couldn't the Congress have found a better person who actually believes in the goddess? What they have done, that is what the BJP has done, is they have put out a video of Banu Mushtaq where she is expressing her discomfort with divinity being ascribed to the Kannada language and the Karnataka state flag. The BJP's argument is this. They say if as a Muslim she can question the divinity of Bhuvneshwari Devi, then it's clear that she's a non-believer. One BJP leader, Pratap Simha, wants to know if she still follows Islam, given that Islam only believes in one God and one book. Now, the Congress party is calling this complete hypocrisy of the BJP. They say Dasara is a state festival, so it's secular, not Hindu. In fact, they also say that in 2017, when another celebrated literary figure in the state, Professor Nisar Ahmed, a very well-known poet, was called to inaugurate the festivities in Mysuru, it was Pratap Sinha who actually attended the festivities. And back then, the BJP didn't have any problems. So, why call this an urban Naxal plot that is being executed by the Congress party? This is the question they are asking, and that's exactly the question I'm putting to Tejasvi Surya, who's used the word urban Naxal in this context. He's a BJP MP from the Lok Sabha. Thank you very much, Tejasvi, for your time here on Times Now. Can I ask you, Banu is a Booker Prize winner. She has done the state proud, she has done the country proud. Why oppose her just because she's Muslim? I mean, if Muslims are welcome to take a dip in the Kumbh Mela or come for the inauguration of the Ram Mandir, then what's the problem with Dasara?
So the opposition is not at all because she is a Muslim. The opposition is precisely because of the view she herself has expressed at multiple occasions with respect to certain Hindu traditions and Kannada language. I have specifically tweeted a clip of her speech where she denigrates the comparison of Kannada language to goddess Bhuvaneshwari, which is the practice here for thousands of years. This language predates even Islam. And comparison of Kannada as a mother tongue, as a mother, as a goddess Bhuvaneshwari, and the Kannada flag, the yellow and the vermilion, the red, comparing it to Arshina and Kunkuma. This is a part of this culture, the Kannada culture. So, her opposition to this is what has riled up so many people. And Dasara and Vijayadashmi is essentially a religious festival. And it is the state festival. It is the festival of this culture, Kannada culture. People today are asking, could we not have found anybody who would have respected the culture of this land and would not have had an objection to the glorification of this language as goddess Bhuvaneshwari, because the function that she is invited to, the program that she is invited to, is to do the first inaugural prayer to the god. So how can somebody who doesn't believe in that god, somebody who has expressly expressed their denigration, their disrespect, irreverence to that practice, be now invited to actually do the inaugural prayers? If my memory serves right, earlier celebrated Muslim Kannada poet Nisar Ahmed was also invited to actually lead the state in the prayers. People were overjoyed. People accepted it. People wanted it. Because the songs that he has written, his views, his expressions, his poetry, all of that resonated with this culture.
Okay.
The opposition is not to Mushtaq because she is a Muslim.
Okay.
Far from it. We have celebrated many instances where Muslim scholars, Muslim thinkers, poets have actually come and done these programs. But in this case, it is her own stated position of opposition to these rituals, opposition to the conception of Kannada as a goddess, Bhuvaneshwari. This is what is the objection.
Are you mixing two things? Fine, she has a problem with divinity being assigned to the Kannada language and to Karnataka's flag. But she has not challenged the divinity of Chamundeshwari Devi. In fact, she is saying this is possibly the happiest moment of her life to get this invite.
No, we are very happy that, she is overjoyed with this invitation. But let her at least now, so that the millions of other devotees of Chamundeshwari in Karnataka who consider Kannada language and the Bhuvaneshwari and see all of these feminine forms as the same divinity, for their sake, can't she publicly today express her faith and reverence to goddess Chamundeshwari? Chamundeshwari, mind you, for the millions of people who are following the devotees of Chamundeshwari, it's not a story. It is not a story. It is a lived experience. People connect to it as a lived experience. So for these millions of devotees, can't she today express publicly her faith and reverence and respect for goddess Chamundeshwari, the traditions of Dasara? We will be more than happy.
Okay, but the very fact that she's saying that she's overjoyed to get the invite, the very fact that she's saying that she's very happy to do the rituals, means she believes in the goddess, right? Which is why she's coming. She has not said at any point she doesn't believe in Chamundeshwari Devi.
No, this is not any game, right? Where you can take away divinity and just be overjoyed at performing an activity. What activity are you performing? It is a prayer. Can you lead the state in a religious prayer when you do not have belief in that God? Can you do that? And also say that I'm overjoyed because I'm getting all this attention because the state has invited me as the state. I don't know what is the reason for being joyous. For a believer, it would be the opportunity to lead the state in prayer of this of the divinity. But for somebody who is perhaps who has stated and expressed no reverence to the divinity, the overjoy must perhaps then be coming from the fact that she is recognized and requested to be the guest of honor by the state government. These are two different reasons for being overjoyed.
So the Congress party is saying this is the BJP's hypocrisy. They are saying it was under a BJP government that Dasara was made a state festival and therefore it is secular. In fact, BJP's own ministers back in 2008-2009 were saying this is a secular festival. This is not a Hindu festival. How do you react to when the Congress says that what the BJP essentially is now trying to do between 2017 and 2025 is to make a secular festival, a secular event into a Hindu one?
Well, see, this is the problem with importing secularism in the Western context and simply blindly imposing it in a society like India. What is religious and what is cultural? Where does religion stop and where does culture begin? Where does culture end and where does religion start? You answer me. So tomorrow if, wearing of bindi, somebody can say is religious, somebody else will say it is cultural. This is a difficulty in a state like India, an old civilization state like India, where you have a thriving living culture.
Okay.
So the only way out is to respect the culture of the land. Now can you say because the state has today told that Dasara is a state festival, it is a secular festival, so should people all across Karnataka who will be performing Navratri say that this is a secular festival? Is this not hypocritical in every way? All I am asking is bloody stop this hypocrisy.
Okay.
Let there be logical consistency.
Okay.
Either you say, I am an atheist, I do not believe in this God, therefore I will not come and lead the state in prayer. You will be respected. Or say like Nisar Ahmad and many other great leaders have said in earlier instances, that I believe in this God, I have deep reverence for this practice, I have faith and belief in this God, and therefore I will come. I will lead the state in prayers. People will be so happy. Isn't the case of Yesu Das before us? Yesu Das is a born Christian, but a devotee of Lord Ayyappa. He believes in the God. And nobody cares that he was born Christian. People listen to his renditions of bhajans more than any Hindu born singers. That is the nature of the Hindu society. Even now I am telling, Banu Mushtaq should very simply establish logical coherence from her earlier positions and today's position where she is overjoyed to perform a prayer to Lord Chamundeshwari.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll leave it there for the moment. Tejasvi Surya, thank you very much for joining us. Deepak Thimaiya, your spokesperson of the Congress party, you have just heard Tejasvi Surya of the BJP articulate what exact problem they have with the way the Congress is going about the Dasara festivities. Now, outright, they are not saying they have a problem with Banu Mushtaq because she is Muslim. On the face of it, they are saying, look, she has articulated a position where she has very clearly said that divinity should not be ascribed to the Kannada language and the Karnataka flag, right? So, but they are saying she didn't believe, if she doesn't believe in one divinity, she will not believe in another divinity. Why call such a person to the festivities?
See, I'm actually surprised to hear all these words from a young MP because there has been this contention about whether most of the BJP people even understand Hinduism at all, because nowhere in Hinduism it is mandatory that you need to worship a certain god to be able to be dharmic. And this has been seen literally in every scripture of Hinduism. And if at all you were to even study the history and also the kind of hegemony and also the kind of fundamentalism also about, particularly some people adhering to a certain cult or sect or even belief system, how they perhaps believed in the dharma as a whole, but could have been opposed to certain gods. But let me tell you, to say that you have to believe in idols to be able to be Hindus, I think that, it perhaps is written in some BJP constitution or in some Hindutva, literature or wherever, and I can guarantee you it is not there in any of the Hindu scriptures at all. For that matter, if at all you read the, what do you say?
But Mr. Thimaiya, we are idol worshippers.
And literature.
No, Mr. Thimaiya, but we are idol worshippers, na? We keep idols of gods and goddesses in our house. That is our tradition, that is our custom, that is our religion.
We are idol worshippers, but it's not mandatory that you're idol worshippers to be Hindu. Can you please show me anywhere in any of the scriptures where it says that you have to worship an idol? If at all you read the Bhagavad Gita very carefully too, does it actually mandate you to worship an idol? Let me tell you, but it's of course the part of belief system now. I'm not denigrating idol worship, but to say that, when you call something the festival of the land, and let me tell you, the land actually belongs to everybody. And the festival should be equally celebrated by all the communities. That is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jain, everybody together, even the atheists, because this is celebratory. This is not so much about the religion. Of course, the idol may be of Hinduism, but she is seen as the protector of the land. And let me tell you, here it is more about that theology or, theocentric religion. Rather, it is about the kind of oneness of the state, and where goddess Chamundeshwari becomes the embodiment of the spirit of Karnataka. And for that, having a Muslim to come into basically proves inclusiveness in the society. And it doesn't prove any kind of, religious division, because she is not inaugurating a temple. She is not bringing goddess, Chamundeshwari into being. She is basically inaugurating, because in Hinduism we believe anybody with knowledge, anybody with the literary skills is blessed by goddess Saraswati. And I'm sure that that there is no different goddess who actually blesses a Muslim writer and a different Saraswati who actually blesses Hindu writers. And Chamundeshwari is called the Jagannate. She is the mother of the world. She is not called the mother of the Hindu world. She is the mother of the whole universe. And let me tell you, to be able to exclude, Chamundeshwari, and to call her like, she has so much to do with only Hindus, is a kind of travesty.
Okay.
Because you can't certainly, behave like, Chamundeshwari has all her powers only bestowed to do something for
Mr.
Hindus.
Thimaiya, okay. You've made your point. Mr. Thimaiya, you've made your point. Rohan Gupta, come in here. I just want us to look at the broader picture. The Kumbh was open for people of all faiths. Yogi Adityanath himself invited everyone, including Muslims. So if the Kumbh can invite Muslims, if for the Ram Mandir inauguration, Muslims can be called, what is the problem if the Dasara festivities in Mysuru are inaugurated by an award-winning author who says she's delighted that she's got the invite? This is possibly the happiest personal moment of her life.
Shreya, absolutely. You have answered your question yourself. There is absolutely nothing in inviting people for anybody's celebration, any religion celebration. But the way she has been made chief guest, right? You need to believe in the ideology. You have to believe in the Chamundeshwari Mata's rituals and all. You just cannot invite somebody as a chief guest just because she is the cultural person. You cannot mix culture and religion. This is not the cultural event. This is the religious event where you have to believe.
The Ram Mandir ceremony. Muslims who came to the Ram Mandir ceremony, or Sikhs who came to the Ram Mandir ceremony, or Christians who came to the Ram Mandir ceremony, don't believe in Hinduism or Lord Ram.
Absolutely.
But they were invited and they came.
Inviting somebody as a chief guest and inviting somebody to attend the function, there is a huge difference. There is a huge difference. I have absolutely nothing against her, or BJP has nothing against her individually. But when you symbolize, when you talk about secularism, when you talk about Hinduism, you are talking that Hindu dharma mein sarv dharm sambhav hona chahiye. Why you don't have same mindset when Sanatan is insulted by DMK? Why you don't have same mindset when something happens in Bangladesh? My question here is, you cannot have double standards. Either you talk about something in holistically, it should apply to both Hindus and Muslims. You are lenient about as far as Hindu dharma is concerned, and when it comes to Muslim, you go into appeasement. Why you are talking about Waqf board law? If you are believing in the same culture where Waqf law is not at all there across the world, it is there in India, then why you are talking about religion? It is a management body, right? You are opposing that in name of religion. And when we talk in name of religion...
Gupta, I want to ask you, samasya kahan hai? If the lady in question, a Booker award-winning author, doesn't have a problem lighting the lamp, doing the puja, leading the state into prayer, why is the BJP having a problem? वो तो कह रही है, I'm very happy to do it.
This is the puja of Chamundeshwari Mata. This is not the small event, right? It's not a cultural thing. If it is only about cultural, I have absolutely nothing. This is something to do with the religion. This is puja. There is a thin line between culture and Hinduism and puja. If you invite somebody for a chief guest, you need to believe in the ideology of that God. Do you feel that is correct? No. You can have respect for the person. You believe in the culture. But what is your faith? This has to be kept in mind. You have to keep that thin line. Just imagine opposite, Shreya. Can you imagine opposite? Any Muslim function or maybe any dargah, you tell me one Hindu is invited as a chief guest. I'm not against people going there and praying to the God. God is for everybody. But you tell me one person, one incident where any big Muslim function, Hindu has been invited as a chief guest. You will not find, because there the dharma nirpeksha will come, there the duplicity will come. So my question is against this duplicity. You cannot have double standards. If you feel that it's a religious function, you have to keep the basic sanctity of the religion.
I want to ask you what the BJP stand is. Is Dasara a religious function, or is Dasara in Mysuru a secular function? My point is, it was in 2008-2009 under a BJP government that it was made the state festival. And there was money allocated in the budget for this state festival. अब ये पैसा कहाँ से आता है? टैक्सेस से आता है. सिर्फ हिंदू के टैक्सेस तो है नहीं, मुसलमानों के भी टैक्सेस गए हैं वहाँ पे. तो आप अपना स्टैंड क्लियर कर दीजिए, रोहन गुप्ता. According to the BJP, is Dasara a secular festival in Mysuru? or is it a Hindu festival?
That's what I'm saying. This festival is the symbol of puja of Chamundeshwari Mata. So that's why this is a religious function. Any function surrounded by this as a culture of Kannada, absolutely no issue. You are doing puja, ma'am. You are not just attending the cultural function or talking about Kannada culture. You are attending puja of goddess Chamundeshwari. That is the core issue.
Okay.
You definitely invite her for the puja.
But even in 2017, a Muslim professor was invited, a famous poet.
Again, I'm telling you.
To inaugurate the puja.
That is what
everyone in the BJP who has a problem today with Banu Mushtaq being invited didn't have a problem in 2017. In fact, not just they didn't have a problem, they even attended the festivities. So 2017 से 2025 में क्या बदल गया भाई?
बदला कुछ नहीं है. बेसिक जो आइडियोलॉजी की बात है, अगर वो तब भी गलत था, वो आज भी गलत है. ठीक है. आज बेसिक कंसेप्ट समझना पड़ेगा कि either you are talking about culture or you are talking about religion. You cannot mix two things. And if you are mixing two things, you have to mix both things for Hindus and Muslims. You cannot mix it only for Hindus and not for Muslims.
Deepak Timaya, it is hypocrisy when you say, this is the argument coming in from the BJP side. It's complete hypocrisy when you say that Dasara festivities in Mysuru are secular, that Dasara is a secular festival. It is not a secular festival. It is a Hindu festival.
See, Mysuru Dasara has actually gone through a lot of transformation. From the times when the king used to sit on the golden howdah and go through the procession to from when the idol of Chamundeshwari was taken around. But let me tell you, I think the BJP people should also know during whose time the change was brought about, and after the Maharaja of Mysore abdicated and the new practice came into being. But let me tell you, to be able to say or call it a secular festival may not be the right word to use, because to say that it's a state festival which belongs to everybody and to call it a Hindu festival are two different things. And let me tell you, when it's convenient for the BJP to have a shake,
secular, the opening of a Hindu temple
in the Middle East, no, let me just tell you, when it's okay for the BJP to have sheikhs, who perhaps, I'm sure that according to them, they were doing the pujas and all because they believe so much in Hinduism, when they opened these temples in the presence of the Prime Minister in the Middle East. That is all right. But here, the lady is not being called as a priest of the temple. She will be only starting announcing the commencement of Dasara and praying along with the other people. And let me tell you, it is only in Hinduism, it is very clear that it is between the God and the devotee and not anybody else's business at all. But this whole thing about how you should conduct all this only according to the dictates of the BJP is something that is very disconcerting, because people who know Hinduism very well, they know that, Hinduism has been able to survive and has been able to thrive, and even in spite of anything else, Hinduism has been able to do so much is because of Hinduism's intrinsic, liberal attitude towards worship. And let me tell you, if at all, Mrs. Banu Mushtaq is not able to, pray in the way that we want her to pray or, declare, I don't think that is important at all. And her being there present in front of the idol and declaring Dasara open itself is a great gesture, because when she brought the honor, she didn't bring the honor only to Muslims. She brought it to the whole of Karnataka, and today if Kannadigas feel so proud of having a Booker Prize to their language's name, I think that she has done so much service. And if they want Banu Mushtaq, who brought so much greatness to Kannada language, to be there to worship or to declare Dasara open, it's an honor to Kannadigas, and I'm sure that no Kannadiga in the right senses would do this. But let me tell you, I'm sure a lot of Kannadigas are watching this, and Kannadigas are intrinsically and basically a very liberal and nice and decent people. They don't want themselves to be divided on lines like who believes, who has to declare, how they have to behave, and what they have to do, and so on. Let me tell you, if at all Mrs. Banu Mushtaq did not want to do this, she herself would have said, look, I don't believe in this and I won't come. She, being an international level writer and somebody who is a celebrated author, if she can't tell that, I'm sure that she is completely okay with coming and doing this, and it should be the business of Kannadigas. between Kannadigas and Mrs. Banu Mushtaq, and nobody else wants to actually, squeeze a lemon in between should be bothered about all this.
Okay, I'll say this. Banu Mushtaq doesn't quite care about the controversy that is going on. She has very clearly said that irrespective of the political controversy, she is going for the Dasara festivities and she is going to inaugurate it because she has been invited by the government of Karnataka. So the controversy can carry on. She is going to carry on as planned. We'll leave it there for the moment. Mr. Thimaiya, thank you very much for joining us. Rohan Gupta, thank you very much for joining us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, a break. There's more news on the other side.